Good afternoon. It is 16:29 here. That's 4:29 in the afternoon for you civilian types in sunny Miraflores, Peru, the best district in Lima. Welcome back to another entry in my blog where I'll be talking more about trapped in deception. Here in Miraflores, the air is cooler, the coffee is stronger, and the pulse of the Pacific seems to whisper to every writer who listens. I've joined a writers group here that meets every few weeks. It's been a refreshing change. Honest feedback, sharp minds, and just enough creative friction to keep me on my toes. Fortunately, most of the conversation and the writing is in English, which gives me space to grow. Today's chapter is where the mask truly begins to slip. Shawn Larson doesn't want wealth. He already has that. What he wants is dominion. To win the game without anyone knowing there was a game. And he's already several moves ahead. Today I'll be reading Trapped in Deception, Chapter 2, Innocent as a Viper. Just when you think someone has hit rock bottom as a human being, they commence to digging. The crisp morning breeze barely stirred the leaves and other debris around True Funds Corporation headquarters, where Shawn toiled away on the 50th floor. He'd made millions in stocks, mutual funds, cryptocurrency, more than he could ever spend. But he wanted more, always more, and above all, he didn't want to pay taxes. From his office beneath the penthouse, Shawn doubted anyone upstairs had a clue what was coming. They weren't in his league, not even close. He didn't need the money anymore. His net worth was just over $10 million, despite his indulgent lifestyle. But the urge to steal, that was something else. Shawn entered and hung his navy blue Tom Ford jacket on the door. His pink silk tie brushed against the buttons of a crisp blue shirt. On his ring finger, an 18-karat University of Pennsylvania ring gleamed. A matching gold bracelet and chain completed the look. Trophies, each one. Hanging from the chain was a 21-karat cross, a souvenir from Bangkok after brokering a shady deal. Shawn had promised discretion over the client's sweatshop labor and party favors at the Empress Express. Cocaine, women, whatever the client wanted. No one ever traced it back. Shawn booted up his computer, and numbers raced across the screen as his fingers danced over the keyboard. He tapped the enter key, launching the algorithm. The heist had begun. How many late nights had gone into this? How many people had he lied to, used, discarded? He smirked. My plan is flawless. He stood, grabbed his jacket, and smoothed it across the mahogany desk. No creases, no carelessness. Shawn joined True Funds a decade ago, fresh off another reinvention. After 9/11, he'd used the chaos to wash black market jewelry profits and borrow money from friends he never repaid. Because Shawn died in a terrible car accident, a tragic loss. His corpse, however, had a knack for investing. His knowledge of economics gave him an edge. Shawn could read the market like others read gossip. The dark web gave him tools, anonymity, and access. As Michael Buster, he peeked into accounts that no one else dared to touch. Like a surgeon with a scalpel, except he was there to carve, not heal. Behind the curtains lay dozens of fake identities, offshore caches, and multiple passports locked away in a fireproof safe in his master bedroom. Every country had a file, every file had a backup. It was time to retire. Shawn was 46, a man of many accomplishments, a modern-day Renaissance man like the founding fathers he admired. Benjamin Franklin had retired at 42. I am 4 years behind schedule. I should be enjoying myself. Shawn wasn't a fighter. He preferred to outsmart his opponents and get others to do the fighting for him. He turned people against one another and in the confusion acted as a friend to each side for his own benefit. He'd already exploited every gap in True Fund's digital defenses, but the final move required a genius. Lamont Finley was that genius. Socially clueless, morally flexible, brilliant with code, Lamont had no idea his work would be his death warrant. The algorithm was beautiful. Bypassed firewalls, extracted funds from dormant accounts, and rerouted the money to offshore havens. Small amounts, unnoticeable. $50 from $1 million, no one noticed. The same amount from $1,000 account, too risky. Lamont believed every lie Shawn, posing as Michael, told him. A gold bonus, a sports card. Dreams are easy bait. The final transfer was executed. 100% complete flashed across the screen. Shawn wiped the drive, even his browsing history. If anyone looked at his computer, they'd think he was a saint. The last piece, Mr. Ortiz's private folder. Shawn cracked into the key and downloaded it to the 4-terabyte hard drive. This key would get Shawn another $5 million in cryptocurrency linked to illegal gambling. Even if the bank discovered it, they wouldn't report it. No one wanted law enforcement digging into that mess. Who's the bigger crook? Thought Shawn. I'm just better at it. A twisted grin curled his lips. He split the funds across accounts in the Bahamas, the Caymans, and Europe. It was done. For a passing moment, Shawn felt a tingling sensation in his spine. Had it been too easy? Perfect plans had a way of hiding invisible imperfections. He shoved the thought aside with a sneer. He told himself that fear was a weakness that he'd left behind long ago, a waster of his precious time. True Funds blocked wireless signals inside. No cell phones or Bluetooth. Only landlines and silence. But Shawn found a low-tech workaround. He opened his office window and placed a burner phone outside on the ledge. It rang once. Maggio's Pizza, a voice answered. Hi, can I get a double pepperoni delivered to the lobby? Name's Henry Sankin, Shawn said. He ended the call. The code phrase was sent. Shawn's contacts would know what it meant. Shawn texted a few final confirmations, then smashed the SIM card and flushed the remains. Every move was covered. Satisfied, he played the plan over again in his mind, checking for cracks. There were none. Not this time. He had a chip on his shoulder he'd never admit, but it was there, fueling him, haunting him. If people had given him credit for his brilliance, maybe he wouldn't have done this. But even Shawn knew he would have anyway. He believed his lies most of the time. But in his heart, using people was part of him. Always had been. Shawn left his office and rode the private elevator to the lobby. When he stepped outside into the cold December air, he moved like he owned the world. One more game to win, he muttered, almost smiling. Then I disappear. Thank you for listening to Chapter 2 of Trapped in Deception, Innocent as a Viper. That tingling sensation in Shawn's spine, that flicker of doubt, it wasn't conscience, it was calculation. He doesn't believe in right or wrong, just advantage. In this chapter, we see a man refining his masterpiece, brushing off loose ends and polishing every move until it gleams like the gold on his wrist. But no matter how smooth the con, there's always a variable. And for Shawn, that variable is Lamont Finley. What happens next isn't a twist. It's a necessity. I'll see you next time.